Hi, I'm going to show you how to do a 4-stitch left cable. I'm working on the adult hat loom from Cindy Wood, the fine gauge. This has 80 pegs, 3/8 inch gauge, and currently my hat, and this is the cable portion right here of the hat, and I'm going to show you how to do the 4-stitch left cable. So the first step is you're going to want to skip pegs 1 and 2 and bring your working yarn behind those pegs. Next, you're going to knit pegs 3 and 4, and I'm using the U-wrap knit stitch. See, I'm just bringing it across to the front and then kind of towards the back, keeping it loose. You're going to knit peg 3, knit peg 4, and you can loosen those up then a little bit. You can always go back and tighten them later. I'm going to take the stitch off of peg 3 and off of 4. You can place them on separate holders or all on one, or you can use a crochet hook or whatever you want. You just want to make sure that you have 3 and 4. I'm going to place them then to the back. After you remove the stitch 3 and 4, we're going to place that towards the back of the loom. Your working yarn you're going to bring back, and we now want to knit peg 1. I'm going to start with peg 1, and we're going to knit peg 1, and then we're going to knit peg 2, and you want to make sure that this stays towards the back. You're going to move the stitch that was on peg 2. I'm going to place my working yarn first, actually, over to the side of peg 4. You're going to take the stitch that was on peg 2, move it to peg 4, the stitch that was on peg 1, and move it to peg 3. Now, the stitches that we removed in the first step, we have stitch from peg 4 and from peg 3. We want to place the stitch that was on peg 3 onto peg 1. And the stitch that was on peg 4. And I'm just going to pick it up with my loom hook. This yarn is kind of fuzzy and hard to work with. Move the stitch that was on peg 4 onto peg 2. Okay, and then once you've moved all the stitches, your last step is just to tighten all the stitches. So I go back to peg 2 and I pull on it and tighten it. Sorry. And then I go back to peg 3, pull on it and tighten it. And you want to tighten it, but not too tight. You don't want to break your yarn or anything like that. And then you're ready to work the rest of your rows, or the rest of your stitches. So that is the 4-stitch left cross. And let's see here. As you can see, that crosses towards the left, and it's done over 4 stitches. Hope that helps. Thanks for joining me.